institutions, they have stolen quite a big chunk of profits.
What do you believe is going to be happening in 2026?
Web3 projects will die and only businesses will survive. Business has numbers, business has revenues.
Projects who have real value and are building real business in crypto.
I believe that 99.999% of the altcoins are dead and they already have had their altcoin season.
Crypto people are a bit different from Web2 people.
Same gambling, but just dressed up in a different suit.
Hello, everyone. And this is HODL FM with you again. I'm Tanya, your host. And today we have Vlad, our guest. Hello, Vlad, and thank you for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me.
My first question is, what do you guys do? Can you tell me more about your personal background in the crypto space and about the company?
Yeah, my name is Vlad. I've been doing businesses my whole life, e-commerce and, whatever services, businesses with the IT platforms, aggregators, a lot of physical businesses too. And so when I got into crypto, we started Cryptorsy Ventures. That was initially as a marketing agency. And after some time, we have pivoted to the venture studio. Now we are baking and scaling projects in crypto, expanding our ecosystems. We are doing a lot of events in crypto as well, exclusive experiences for investors, founders, guys who are building together with us. And of course, as the venture studio, we are also building our own products and quite actively getting involved in the ecosystem. We've been working with the biggest of the biggest of the biggest, like a multi-billion-dollar companies such as Hedera and other guys, infrastructure, DeFi projects, and also helping small projects getting off from the ground to help them with the funding, to help them with attention, to help them get all those things in the right place so that their image looks very holistic and ready to go. And me myself, I'm quite actively involved in the space overall. I'm doing a bunch of content, as you probably already saw that on my pages. I'm very vocal about my opinions about the consumer crypto super cycle and stuff like that. So yeah, that's a TLDR.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. That's a lot, actually. You guys are doing quite a lot of things. So it's marketing, it's fundraising, and also content creation, which is really cool. And right now we have this situation in crypto where we have most interest coming in investments into crypto. And we see that the situation has changed a little bit because right now the key players are not retail anymore, the people who are looking to buy some Bitcoins, altcoins or whatever. We have more institutions entering the game. How does this impact the companies who are looking to fundraise and generally the ideas of founders? What are they pitching right now?
Do you remember what all crypto bros were asking for in 2023, 2024, 2025, and onwards? They were asking about institutions to come. They were begging, please, Web2 institutions, we need you because you are going to be the guys who pump our backs. Now, what we see is, institutions came, all these hedge funds, all of the ETFs were opened, and a lot of quite big treasuries from the Web2 came and heavily allocated their portfolio into Web3. But that flashed away a lot of crypto bros. So they were asking to pump their bags, and now it turned out because the meme coins kind of hijacked altcoin super cycle, and a lot of people were heavily invested in the altcoins. And altcoin kind of season is that, and it's not coming, and people are waiting. So are we on? Are we off? No one really knows. But what we know is that BTC is still above $90,000, which is huge. We are not in a bear market, but crypto bros aren't that vocal, aren't that positive about crypto market anymore. And I assume that because all these institutions, they have stolen quite a big chunk of profits on the majors like Solana, like Bitcoin, like Ethereum, and Ethereum is whatever. It's like one of the biggest failure of this season, I guess. I'm sorry, guys. Maybe that will piss someone off, but it is what it is. Now we see the stable coins that are getting printed out of a thin air, like meme coins were before. And that's kind of crazy because a lot of institutions, they are doing this. They are issuing their own stable coins. They are heavily investing in the DeFi ecosystem as well. And that is crazy. And the main bottom line here from this part of the pitch will be like, be careful what you wish for. We wished our backs to be pumped, but we didn't see that institutions essentially can impact it, but not in the way how we expected that to be. And so that, of course, changed the landscape. That, of course, changed a lot of moving parts in the Web3 market, especially with the fundraising, exactly like you said. So now it's not super easy to raise money where a lot of people were betting their life savings on the altcoins because these altcoins all of a sudden can do 100x, 1000x. You can turn your whatever $100 in the Lamborghini overnight. That was the crypto marketing. That was the promise. That was a big hope that all the market participants were praying for. Now it's harder to raise money because of the financial landscape that we have got after institutions joined crypto, but also because demand is kind of staying the same. So we got what, three and something $1 trillion, kind of same as the peak of the last cycle, which is $2.7 trillion, but the supply has drastically increased. So we got a lot of tokens injected into the system, 55 millions and something. It's like 99.99% more than we got last cycle. So the supply is somewhere here, right? Demand is kind of wobbling around, stays the same, but supply is constantly growing. And also with the AI developments, with all the AI wipe coding, as we call it right now, people can whatever roll out their idea in 2 hours by paying just $19 for the subscriptions for Cloud Code 3.5 or something like that. And it's very easy to build things, but the distribution stays the biggest conundrum that all the founders need to solve. And of course, raising money became way harder if you don't know who, like who you're gonna reach out, really. Are you gonna be just cold outreaching people on LinkedIn that have absolutely no vested interest in your project? Or how do you expect it to happen? So that changed, and also what you pitch changed, because as in 2017 it was enough to say we're doing crypto. People like, oh, here's my million, take it, crypto, all right, take it. Then 2021 people would say, oh, we're not doing kind of crypto, we're now doing NFTs, which is the overpriced JPEGs. And people will be like, okay, that's something different, that's something fresh, let me invest my millions into that. Then 2023, we saw crypto NFTs not really working. Let's think about the biggest narrative. Let's think about something stronger, bolder, more promising and stuff. And so all these layers on top of just Web3, they're constantly getting recreated for the sake of finding more money to raise from private markets and public markets.
Yeah, but just as you said, in 2017, there was some kind of project and they were like pitching the idea of making something good for crypto, some kind of infrastructure or whatsoever. And bam, you get a lot of money. 2021, you say you're building a metaverse or NFT project or something similar to this. You also didn't have to look for money. Money was actually looking for you if you had a kind of idea. It was really, really easy to fundraise. What about now? What should you be building to attract investor? What should you be pitching to them? Because everyone was expecting AI tokens and everything around AI, this collision of AI and blockchain to be a new trend, a new narrative of the bull market, but it never happened. What is happening now, and what are your forecasts for this year in terms of projects, in terms of everything for the market?
Yeah, my forecast really is that all Web3 projects will die and only businesses will survive, really. So you cannot just no longer that's the case where you can pitch the project. Oh, we have a fancy new fabulous thing that will be bright and shiny, whatever, trillions of dollars higher, right? So now what do you pitch? You pitch business. And business has numbers, business has revenues, business has all those important metrics, scaling units that you pitch to investors and they understand this is something that can sustain itself. This is something that can be real and tangible. I mean, for example, we were launching a one project back in the days that was like early 2020s, right? And then when you just tell, like I said, oh, we are building whatever layer one, Swiss bake layer one, and people will be like, oh my god, that is extraordinary, that is great, let me toss my last money into it. But now, when you're doing this stuff, people see there's a lot of vanity metrics with bots, with a complete fake and followers and that audience and stuff. So now investors, they are not just group of fools, okay? They are very smart people. And so they would look into business numbers, into your revenues, into your user growth, and so on and so forth. So to an extent, yeah, Web3 becomes more similar to Web2 startups, whereby you pitch a real business. Of course, you have to understand how to tell the story. Because I saw my eyes, hundreds of millions of dollars were raised for nothing, like for just, just the smoke in the mirror, for absolute nothing. No product, no real traction, just a story, just a not bad, like a Canva made pitch deck. But when you know to whom you can pitch, and when you're a good storyteller and you obviously have some authority, maybe personal brand or stuff, money comes to you, exactly like you said. But if you are trying to build something extraordinary here in the Web3, you have to switch your mindset from always being dreaming the Silicon Valley type of stuff where you saying, oh, Web3, I'm building new revolutionary logistics for banana in decentralized way. So now from Africa, we can ship bananas to whatever, Pakistan, right? And now you can see there's a currency baking this stuff. Who needs that? Bananas are fine when they are shipped the way they're shipped right now. It is just you thinking about the narrative, how to capitalize on, create that, popularize that to make money on it. That's it. But whether or not it has a real applications in the real life, that remains to be seen. So yes, you switch your mindset from always hustling around projects because it's dying. Obviously, you can see that in the charts, to businesses. Just build business. And businesses are supposed to be profitable, and businesses are only profitable where there is something to use, aka product. So if you have a product to use, now you can hustle your way into finding the users for that project, and then boom, you have business.
Okay, right. That actually makes a lot of sense, and I think it always made a lot of sense, especially these kind of projects were checked during the bear markets because during the bull run you get money, everything looks fine, looks cool, and then starts the bear phase where you actually run out of money. And this is the real check if you have some kind of utility, if you have something real to offer to users, then you survive. Otherwise, you just waste your money.
Otherwise, you raise one more round, right? There is always money looking for you.
Or,
Yeah.
exactly. This is how it can happen.
And then one more, and then one more, and you're just raising, right? But it's no longer, what I'm saying is it's no longer like 2021 where you can raise like seeds, then the Series A, Series B, Series C, Series E, whatever series. Like you just can't go with that. This is not pitchable anymore.
And what if we're talking about launchpads, or generally if we're talking about a new project who is looking to do the token offering? What should they do? Should they go to uh, really big guys like all of those investors, or like kind of those companies and asking money from them? Does it still make sense to go to some kind of launchpads and trying to get some fundraising from retail?
Have you seen what happened with all of those launch pads in the past?
No, that's why I'm asking.
Well, you should look it up. It's crazy. So all those biggest launch pads that were very big, shiny, and very buzzy objects to talk about, there are a couple of important issues, right? So actually Launchpad, it is like a whatever hub where they supposed to have people who are just sitting there quiet waiting for the new project to come to buy it early and hopefully make some money. But then when you see that the music they are playing is the same and people are getting bored by the same music, then some of those people are leaving, some of those people are having nausea and whatever. And as we see with the launchpads, their business model is just to get you, for example, you're launching a Tanya coin. So their business is to get your coin, to get your project, get allocations from your coin, right? So essentially, they would ask for something like maybe crazy on the high end, like up to 8% from their tokenomics. This is what they get. They of course they need to make somehow profits, and they would ask you for a flat fee to list, or they will ask you about some incentive, maybe from the KPIs they're gonna achieve, the percent from the raise that they pulled over for Tanya coin. And then all of a sudden, when all those people invested into the coin, then it launches and it's supposed to bring a lot of access. And the business model of those launch pads was to make sure that everyone who is listing, I mean, their coin, actually buying the token of the launch pad, that's like the version 1.0 of the launch pads in the crypto space. This is how it was, right? You're buying their coin, you're staking their coin, and that creates a buying pressure, so their coin goes up. And this is how they monetize you and your project before they even brought you any results. And so that model started to die because there's no longer enough people who are excited about the music and new China coins, right? And people would leave, people would go somewhere else. People would see I bought like at zero point 0.1 cent and then it went down to whatever 0.05 cents, which is not beneficial for me. And because they have extracted and they have exhausted all the buying pressure from the community, now the launchpad is running out of a good music, great people, and energy in there. And of course, I'm talking just about the liquidity, the public retail money that is getting allocated to all those new Tanya coins, because there's no longer enough trust, because there's no longer good stories baking up the trust, like, oh, this project made it, that project made it, this project made it, all of the projects making it, so let us also do our stuff on that launchpad. So and then they just burn it out. You can see kind of these days that there are new business models with the democratized access to the financial products. You can see all the meta DAOs of the world. You can see their sort of structure futarchy. This is how they call it, when there's a prediction market inbuilt into the DAO that is managing your treasury that you raise from the market participants, and you cannot steal all the money from the race as most of the founders did back in the days. So you can't just get those five for $4 million, go in Dubai, buy yourself a mansion, two Bugattis, and chill for the rest of your life. Now there's a vesting, there's a DAO managing your liquidity and stuff. But yeah, we'll see. My secret sauce, and really the only one piece of recommendation I can give, is build distribution channel for yourself. Do not rely on anyone else, like on the launchpad and centralized exchange, da da da. It's like so many of them. Build your funnel yourself for your product. Attention. We live in the attention economy.
That's a nice advice. And what would you say about the cycle? Has it changed? What do you believe is going to be during this year? Because previous cycles were kind of predictable. You could see that this is going to be right now. Right now we're growing. Right now we're at the top. You could feel when the next step is happening. After 2024, the cycle, in my opinion, has changed a lot. Yes, because of the altcoin season, which is not there, and also because of the Bitcoin price, which hasn't followed the previous trends. What do you believe is going to be happening in 2026?
I believe that 99.999% of the old coins are dead, and they already have had their old coin season. So there's no altcoin season for 999 or whatever amount of projects and coins in the market. Do not waste your time to wait for this pump back up, and then whatever happens with the green candles on the chart. But in the market right now, what I see is the landscape changed because of the couple of reasons, right? The increased supply, because pump fund democratized an access for people to essentially just launch and mint their new coin, which is a new supply that is looking for the same liquidity, for the same distribution, and it's a bigger competition. So the blue ocean all of a sudden became a red ocean full of sharks looking for the blood, right? And also the liquidity cycle changed, right? With the crazy Trump administration, crypto bros again, quite ironically, they were waiting for Trump to become a president to pump their backs. And then what Trump did, well, Trump did what he was supposed to do. He just launched Trump coin, extracted billions of dollars from the market. That was one of the biggest profit making campaign for him. I'm not even talking about real estate business he's involved in, about the other financial products he has. So yeah, he extracted a lot of money, and then he changed kind of the 3 days before the inauguration. He changed how the cycle was continuing to go and what trajectory we took from there. And also there is the institutions who came, and all of a sudden now it is like crazy because you don't know where the next big trend is gonna be. They are just sitting in the majors, Bitcoin and only Bitcoin stays the king, right? Whereas the rest of the market is kind of nuked. But institutions, they invest in the infra, in the stable coins and stuff. So it seems like Web3 retail and degens, they have exhausted their wallet balances, so they cannot buy anymore to pump the coin's price. Institutions, they are not interested in doing so because they've done it before with crazy OTCs. Maybe you saw some cases with the crazy businesses and it's essentially crime season. There's a crime season campaigns. And Web 2 is scared because you either know someone who has been screwed by crypto, or the guy knows someone from his network who has been screwed by crypto, which is a bad marketing for crypto assets. People are scared of it, and all these meme coins, celeb coins, and old coins, they have rocked a lot of people because that's a Ponzi scheme, right? Whoever buys first wins, whoever sells last kind of loses, which is the name of the game here.
And what about marketing? You just mentioned, yeah, that someone like crypto is a bit notorious. It's still considered to be notorious by uh, like Web2 people, and there are lots of stories when someone scammed someone. How has marketing changed over these years? Because crypto marketing was very, very specific because you had to know this, understand the core of the community. Crypto people are a bit different from Web2 people. They have their demands for privacy and for many other things. And uh, before that, crypto marketing differed a lot in terms of messages, in terms of like ways you promote your product. What is happening now? How do products market their projects? Where do they go? And which channels do they use now? What have you noticed over these months?
No one believes anymore in the main marketing of crypto, which is 100x coin. Like find your another 100x coin and become ultra hyper giga super rich overnight. Because people have seen it's not happening anymore, and that is why all this gold rush campaigning stopped to be so effective as it was before. So now people are shifting to something like more casual, sort of, hey, instead of saying, buy this 100x coin, they're even afraid, all these projects, to say about some price action, some price dynamics. They are now talking about fundamentals because if you think about the bull market and proper altcoin season structure, pump the metals that rule the world. About the QL, who's talking about that, or about the partner you just signed, or about this, and that, and then maybe some green candle you got on the chart. It's all important. This perceived value, this candy wrapper. But during the times like that, where we see the huge turmoil in the markets, people tend to look for a strong floor, and strong floor is all of the time is fundamentals. So now instead of, I would go there and promote Tanya coin by saying, hey, you know what, now this coin is about to do like 100x, people will be scared of it to even try it, to even give it a go, give it a shot. Instead of that, now you would talk about, hey, you know what? Now we bait by the real assets, and these real assets are just being tokenized right here. You can look them up. And then this is the real business because our Tanya coin, it powers the logistics or powers the currency in that native ecosystem that we are building. And now you can look it up. We have some revenues, we have some users are staking. So this becomes more like a self-fulfilling prophecy that the more projects are out there in the market, the bigger competition becomes. But only on the certain level. When you go the level above and you see how the real big players are doing their job, they are building for years, and that is why they have zero competition, because no one builds on that level. And you also asked the question about the marketing, how it's changed. I would tell you that by no means marketing stays the same. It's just your ability to find distribution. I mean, whether or not 2 years ago forecaster was relevant, now people all of a sudden switch back to the regular platforms like LinkedIn and Twitter and video messaging, because video has become the language of the internet. Marketing stays the same. I mean, but just the messaging of what you are building as a product changed, because people understand coin no longer can be the product, because it's the asset, right? Asset is there to speculate on it. Asset goes up and down in price. It's volatile. Therefore, you cannot keep very happy customers for a long enough time horizon, because someone would essentially buy high, sell low, fix the negative kind of losses, and then will live forever. But the goal as a business, if you build a business, right, you just want everyone to be happy, to be retaining in the ecosystem, having a huge LTV, and bringing their friends. That is why I am a big believer that now we are seeing the consumer crypto super cycle, with the orientation on the customer first, with having some products that people would use regardless of whether or not you incentivize them to do so. Because you have seen a lot of campaigns like, "Hey, use our product, get a token." I mean, you're paying people to use the token. You're paying me to buy to get your pizza. Why would you expect me not getting your pizza every day unless you stop me paying? So that is the major changes I see.
That's nice. And what are these projects, in your opinion? What are the coolest projects who have real value and are building real business in crypto?
Consumer crypto verticals, look them up.
Yeah, but maybe you can name just a few ones you
I don't like
guys
to
know.
shill products, because then people will be too super biased and saying, "Oh, of course he shills projects he works with," and I've never shilled the token. I've never shilled like an asset. So buy this, buy that. I am there for the legacy. I'm here for the tech, as people go. But yeah, look it up. There are lots of amazing DeFi projects, a lot of people that are building some ecosystems for the consumer first. Community driven IP businesses are booming right now. Also, if you would look at the payment processing things, a lot of volumes are being bridged, a lot of money is getting allocated there. As well as, I would say, just the verticals that are helping people to gamble, because crypto has always been the biggest gamble on the table. Look up prediction markets. I think that's the biggest consumer crypto vertical right now. All the poly markets and calcius of the world, they are smashing right now.
Yeah, Polymarket, it has become one of the biggest things after probably Pump Fund during this cycle, because it's a way to predict things, and institutions are very much interested in prediction markets right now, because they can make bets on real events, basically, as for now.
But all of a sudden, all casinos will become prediction markets, because casino is banned officially, and gambling is bad. People would point out the finger and say, "Oh, gambling is bad." And at the same time, they'll tell you like Bowie Market and Kalshi is like the best business ever. But it's like same gambling, but just dressed up in a different suit. So this is how we are right now at the end of our conversation, I guess. So this is how people, and this is how we can see that the same narrative can be dressed up in the one clothes, in the other suit, in the other outfit, and then look kind of different, but underneath that it stays the same. And like I said, crypto has always been the biggest gamble on the table, and that's why a lot of people came to crypto to make very fast money overnight and become hyper ultra rich. And of course, 99.99% of them failed. And that's how it's supposed to be. That's the rule of the universe.
This is how it always is. Thank you, Vlad. And to wrap it up, I have last question for you. Which advice would you give to yourself if you were just starting out in crypto investments and finding out what blockchain is and investing into different projects?
Well, first of all, I want to say thank you for not asking me something like, what's the price of Bitcoin you expect until the end of this year? I'm very thankful this is not the last question of this podcast. And so when we talk about advice, I will tell you this. So Warren Buffett was netting around 8-10% APY every year. It's not big, right? 8-10% is just almost at the level of that is a little bit higher than the inflation curve. And so over the course of 60 years, he became one of the richest men in the world, which is kind of crazy. And so he famously said that you should only invest in something that you understand. Because if you don't understand how it works and what are the mechanics, what are the details, nitty gritties of the thing, of the vehicle you're putting your wealth into, then you're screwed. You will be screwed by your ignorance. So, investing only in things you understand, where you can add value and where you are not like buying after it's being pumped before it got into the market like hundreds of times, but when you understand and spotting the trends and buying early into the thing that you understand, and you understand also how that brings value to the world, I think that would be the biggest piece of advice I would give to myself.
Awesome. Great. Thank you so much, Vlad, for joining us. And that was it for today. Don't forget to like this video, to share it with your friends, to subscribe to our socials, to subscribe to Vlad's socials, which are in the description of this video, and see you during the next episode. So thank you.